Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Exponential Potential. And today I'm really excited to have the wonderful Tania on the show. Hi, Tania.
Hello, Jen. Happy to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. Today we are talking all about styling your way to confidence. And Tania is the perfect guest for this. Tania is a personal stylist, fashion expert, speaker, and published co-author. She's founder of Stirl on Style, and I love that. So just rolls off the tongue beautifully. And Tania loves to showcase an individual's unique style and style to elevate their value, vibrancy, and visibility. And I know we could all do, us women, we want to be more visible. We need to be more visible. Back in the day, Tania worked as a fashion designer and model. Her designs were worn by TV personalities and featured in magazines like In Style, and Essence magazines. Tania now styles emerging and established entrepreneurs, executives, speakers, authors, thought leaders, and female founders for their TEDx talks, media interviews, photo shoots, and a lot more. Tania mostly works with women over 40 to align their image with their current lifestyle, personal desires, professional goals. And I love this, Tania, and they can dress to manifest their best life. Welcome, Tania. It's so good to have you here.
Thank you. Happy to be here, Jennifer. Greetings from East Coast, New York City. I know you're across the waters there in Italy. I love that we can do this via Zoom.
Yes. Yeah. And what's so funny, when we both came on, for those that are listening, we have we have the same color glasses, both nice and big, both with a little bit of detail on the top. Tania is a gorgeous and nice, beautiful cat eye. And yes, I have to talk about that top. She has this beautiful, so anyone that's not watching this, I advise you to go to YouTube so you can check out the beautiful Tania's top. Can you tell us a little bit about that top, Tania? It's gorgeous.
Yes. Well, with the title today, Style Your Way to Confidence, my three pillars of style, my three, beliefs about style are self-confidence, self-expression, and self-care. So with the top I'm wearing today, I said, how can I dress to express myself for spring, for summer? And I was craving more color in my wardrobe. And I happen to be a Pisces. My stone is aquamarine blue. And when I wear this kind of turquoise color, I get a lot of compliments. So I said, I need more color. So I found this it's almost like a botanical coral flower screen print blasted against this aqua blue turquoise background. And I said, this is so different from anything that I have, but there's just something about it that makes me feel like summery. So it's about dressing to express, and also it's about a feeling. I loved how I felt when I saw the colors and when I put it on. And I said, this will be perfect for my interview today with Jen, because we're going to be talking about how to use style to elevate your confidence and your vitality. So yes, I wore my beautiful botanical print top and glasses just for you then, Jen.
Thank you. And I love what you just said about top tip, everyone, when you look at something, notice how you feel about it. That was a really juicy little gem there. So how did you get into fashion? Where did your passion for fashion come from?
Yes, I love how you put that, because I definitely have a passion for fashion. In addition to getting formal training as a fashion designer here in New York City at the Fashion Institute of Technology, it really started as a child. I watched my mother sewing and making her own clothes, and she would make some clothes for me also. So I got curious about the sewing machine. I would dabble and experiment. I would go to the fabric stores and go to resale shops and either modify garments or make my own clothing. So I've always played around with style and fashion, even as a child, not quite knowing what the word fashion meant, but just
Mhm.
as a way to play and discover different sides of myself, express
Mhm.
different sides of myself. On the one hand, I was very much a tomboy. I loved climbing trees, riding bikes, and playing soccer. I had two older brothers, right? So I'd be like, I need to keep up with the boys,
Yeah, I know that feeling.
right? And then on the other hand, I loved playing with my Barbie dolls and designing clothes for them. And my Barbies were like rock stars and like, where was Ken? There was like no Ken doll around. It was just them in their Corvettes and living their best life. So really my passion for fashion started young about using style and fashion to be unique, to express myself, but also to express all these different sides and facets of myself. And then in like about the fifth grade, fifth, sixth, and seventh grade, I would sew and make my own clothes and wear them to school. But it was a little different. I grew up in the Midwest, in a
Mhm.
little town outside Chicago in the northwest suburbs. And so I was different looking. Like I'd dye my hair, I'd wear, cool clothes that I designed. And honestly, I got bullied for it sometimes.
Mhm.
I got pressured
Mhm.
and bullied for it. Like, what are those pants you're wearing? Or why is your hair pink? Or and while it affected me to a point, I must admit that it I never caved in.
Yeah.
I never said, "Oh, I'm supposed to be like everyone else," or what does that even mean, right? What is
Yeah.
this normal or this standard? What does that even mean? So I'll never forget in high school, I think my literature teacher, Mr. Kraft, we had to write about an icon or a hero we admire.
Mhm.
So this was in, I think it was 1986 or 1988. No, 1988. Do you remember the supermodel from the 90s, like Linda Evangelista,
Yes.
Cindy Crawford, Naomi Campbell?
Yeah.
So I wrote my paper about Linda Evangelista because I would just get lost in the pages of Vogue magazine, all these different ways to use fashion to express yourself. But I had the short hair. I wasn't curvy like the other girls. I'd wear my brother's hand-me-down jeans and be made fun of. Oh, don't you know those are boys' jeans? And I was like, I can rock them. I can style them. So it was thanks to my teacher for assigning this assignment and writing this story about Linda Evangelista with her short hair. I have short hair, her unique, prominent nose. I have this very unique, prominent nose, thanks to my father. And while I felt like I didn't fit in high school, I found the friends that were fun and different and in art classes, and we just, across the board. But what I learned was I can be my version of beautiful. I can be
Yes.
my version of unique. So my passion for fashion really started as a child, dabbling and playing with fashion tools. We had fashion plates, the sewing machine, and then going on to, study fashion at FIT here in New York City. And I worked in the industry ever since. I modeled, I worked as a fashion designer behind the scenes. And I would say that that's where it began. I always had this fascination with fashion.
Yeah, I love that. Great story. I love the finding your own uniqueness and your beauty through, your own style of beauty, your own uniqueness. And we all have that. And that's a big part of feeling confident, isn't it? Owning you're owning yourself. And I have a question actually, because I've never, I kind of have an idea, but what's the difference between fashion and style?
Yes. So I have a few interpretations of myself for myself.
Mhm.
Being a fashion historian, studying all eras of fashion, from 1910s, 20s, 30s, 40s, 80s to today, studying fashion from different cultures, from different countries. Fashion, fashion is that kind of cultural, social documentation of a sign of the time. What is the current fashion? Right now, we're really living in a celebrity obsessed culture. Um, from the Kim Kardashian, to the Michelle Obama, to all these, prominent female figures in fashion is that language and that mark and the sign of the times. And fashion is a spectrum. You have fashion, for the rich and famous. You have fashion trends that set the trend for the season. You have New York Fashion Week and Paris Fashion Week. So fashion is that industry, that institution that is this constant, kind of creative machine that really is kind of that language and that marker and a sign of the time. What I feel like style is what that individual can do when they look at fashion world and go, how do I translate fashion and make it relevant to me? How do I style fashion and style it for myself? How do I style my lifestyle, style my day, style what I'm wearing to work, style what I'm wearing to that interview? So I almost feel like fashion is if you had a painting, right? Like there's the canvas and the painting and the tool. It's the paintbrush. It's the dabbling in the paint. Styling is okay. There's this institution and this industry and this element, but style is a way that you make it unique. It's not about following fashion or fashion trends blindly, or oh, this is the next hottest bag, I need to have it, unless it's you and you choose to. So fashion is just this interesting industry that just exists across the world, and in other cultures, and. So fashion is a language, it's society, it's communication, it's a visual representation of culture. Style is what we do with it. Style is how we
Right.
translate it for each of us as unique individuals.
Yes, to suit us. And I think, and there's a catch 22 situation as well, is in that to have confidence, it helps to have a really personal style to express that style and express yourself. It takes confidence, but then at the same time, it also brings confidence to do that, to really feel good. And I think a lot of people that lack the confidence and need that sense of belonging sort of really become the sort of victim of fashion almost. They have to have this and they have to have that because, as you said, that it's, the celebrity, well, so and so has it, so I need to wear it, I need to buy that, I need to be seen with that because then I feel like I belong. Would you say that's a fair assumption? That's a fair comment?
It's true. I definitely agree with that. And I've seen it. And it doesn't mean that we can't go through different phases with our relationship to fashion, to style. That's why I love styling women 40 and up. I turned 50 last year. And I think we as women, we evolve and grow and change through our
Yes.
20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. And our style changes as we evolve. We have a different sense of ourselves. We have different beliefs. We focus on different aspects of our career growth or career change or reinvention, where we choose to live, right? You're in Italy now, a more beautiful, relaxed lifestyle. I'm in New York City, showing up to a certain event with a recognizable designer handbag can be a style choice that can lead to a certain perception about myself, my success, my business that will attract certain clientele saying, ooh, I see she's this successful stylist. Maybe I should work with her or hire her to speak at the next event. So it is that indicator, it is that language. I agree with you though. We shouldn't cave in to equating our value with, I have to put things on or wear certain labels in order to overcompensate for our value. It should definitely be integrated. But also, fashion is fun. Fashion is here to dabble and play and experiment. One of my favorite things to do, Jen, is so most of my clients like you are, speakers, entrepreneurs, coaches, creatives. On the other hand, I do have some clients who are partners of their law firms, heads of corporate on track to be on boards. So I love cracking, like, you don't have to wear the navy suit, right? Fashion is
Yeah.
here to discover, play, experiment. I worked with this one woman on track to partner, and every day she was just in her gray and navy suit playing it safe. And when we got her in the fitting room and she put on a red dress, fit and flare dress with leopard print heels, she literally
Wow.
spun around in the fitting room and just went and was looking at herself in the mirror like, no idea. So to your point, it is about, right? It is about translating, but using it in alignment with who you are. Yes, it can absolutely showcase our value. It can elevate our visibility. It can make us feel more vibrant, right? That
Mhm.
confidence factor you're talking about, Jen. But fashion, I want to demystify fashion as this other thing that happens on the runway or the Met Gala or, Paris Fashion Week. Think about, for those of you listening and watching, think about fashion as fun. Play, dabble, experiment, a scarf, fun glasses, a great statement jewelry piece. And, if you're wearing black, navy, gray every day, maybe cobalt blue or a deep purple, the next step away from black. Like, to me, fashion is also fun. It's here to play.
Mhm. And so the impact that that has on people, when they choose to style themselves to sort of showcase their uniqueness, but also there's a balance in a professional capacity. There's a balance there, isn't there?
Yes.
Between, and it's that finding that balance. And some professionals, some professions it won't matter, but there are certain professions like a lawyer or a doctor or an accountant, or there are certain things that you can't push the boundaries too far necessarily.
Yeah,
So the impact of somebody playing with fashion, playing with their own unique style, what have you seen? So you mentioned the lawyer that you were working with. So how did that impact her life, her work life, her own, how she felt? How did that impact her?
yeah, because you and I can, say how fun our glasses look and how
Yeah.
pretty our colorful tops are. Um, and in addition to that, you're right. What we wear can have an impact on our confidence. And it's really about those of you listening and watching, it's about asking yourself, how do you want to be perceived?
Mm.
What is that image you want to project? Before I even start with the clothing or colors or looking at the wardrobe, we really set the tone for what is that current role? What is that future goal? And how are you going to dress in a way? I use that dress to manifest. How are you going to dress in a way that's going to bring more of what you're desiring, more opportunities, the right people, the right connections, the ideal job, the ideal romantic partner, like all the work you do, Jennifer, coaching that individual one-on-one on those inner qualities. My tool is style and the visual tools so that that person can say, for example, I had one client, she's a speaker and she's a LinkedIn expert. And I said, well, what's your, what's your outlook for this year? What's your goal? She said, Tanya, I want to be known as the LinkedIn expert. I want to get paid the highest I've ever gotten paid for my keynotes, for my signature talks, for my workshops. So I invited her to an event at a designer friend of mine at the showroom. And she's like me. She comes from more humble beginnings. And I admit it, Jen, I can be a very thrifty shopper. I shop what I call high low. I'll invest more in a leather good or a handbag, but I get thrifty. She also grew up very thrifty. You don't spend a lot of money on yourself or your clothes. Yet she had these goals. I want to be seen as the #1 LinkedIn expert. I want to get paid top dollar for my talk. So to your point, equating that, I call it dressing with intention in order to manifest more money or, land that ideal job. Or so with her, we were in the designer showroom. What color do you think of when you think of LinkedIn?
Purple, blue,
Right? Those
blue
purples,
and
those
white.
blues, that kind of
Yeah,
signature deep
yeah.
LinkedIn blue. So there was this gorgeous cobalt blue dress she said she had tried on. I said, well, does it align with you? It's your power color. It's your personal brand. If you wore this on stage, like, or in your talks, all eyes would be on you. You're in your signature color. I said, let's try it on. Let's see how you feel in the dress. So it was one of these events. A lot of different women were trying on and buzzing around the room. We zipped her up in this dress, and everyone in the room turned and looked at her and just went, oh my gosh, you need to get that dress.
You have to
You
get
need
the
to get that
dress.
dress. And it wasn't about like, oh, look at her in this crazy dress that's overtaking her. And like, it was integrated. And how she was, it fit her beautifully. The cut, the length, the fit, cobalt blue. And I also pause. It's great when a bunch of women are like, oh, you look fabulous in that.
Yeah.
But it's also about the individual. So she looked at herself back in the mirror. I said, how do you feel in it? She looked at herself in the mirror. She said, I see what's possible. I see confidence. I see a LinkedIn expert. I see a speaker making, multi six figure. So that's the power of style. That's the relation to how do you want to present yourself? How do you want to be seen? Being very clear with what are those goals and how are you going to dress in a way to be seen as that go-to, expert, that valuable professional, that next word share. So I kid you not, and it was the most she'd ever spent on a dress. She said, my gosh, Tania, this is the most I've ever spent on a dress, but I'm going to do it. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling confident. It's activating her confidence and activating her belief in this next level version of her. Within 1 week, she texted me. She said, Tania, I just booked my highest paid speaking engagement. I said, great. And now you have something to wear on stage. So see how it can be an activator.
Yes.
So again, as a personal stylist, yes, it's about color and fit and fun, but I really integrate what are those next level goals and how can you dress in a way to create that confidence, to your point, Jennifer.
Yeah, and I really feel the energy of that. Like there's a really positive, powerful energy. So as you say, it's not just about how you look, it's how you feel, but it's also the energy that because of the way you feel, because you feel so confident, it's the energy that you're giving off. And so people see how you look, but there's an underneath hidden energy around that, which helps you attract what you desire, what you, as you say, dress to manifest. I love it.
It's true. And I've seen it over and over again with my clients after a divorce.
That was
wearing
such an amazing
after a
time.
divorce. I have another client after she divorced and her mother passed away and wearing black every day, to all of a sudden wearing color and print again, going to the same bar restaurant in her neighborhood that she had for the last 7 years. But she put on that floral top. The man sat at the bar next to her, asked if he could buy her a drink. A year and a half later, they're inviting me to their wedding.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I know there's more work that needs to be done on the inside. I'm not saying
yes.
blouse and everything's solved, but it's part of it. I had another client, she could not afford to go shopping. She was let go her job at the end of December. Her confidence was shattered. I said,
Mhm.
let's see what we have. Let's shop your closet. She's like, okay, because that's what she could afford, a 1 hour session with me in her closet. Let's put together 3 interview outfits. Do you know she had it right in her closet? She had this beautiful purple tweed jacket. She had a beautiful purple blouse. She had a black jacket with a pink blouse. We brightened it up. She just needed to polish her shoes and polish her handbag so it looked shiny and new. And it was just the confidence. She had her hair pulled back in a bun. I said, let your hair down, shake it out, put some lipstick, right? Just put on that red lip. Not only did she get the confidence on the job interviews, also she said, Tania, the third interview at the same agency, she said, I felt so confident. They gave me an offer. I negotiated for a better offer and a higher salary, and they agreed to it. So a lot of times it's not about going out and buying a designer bag or spending a lot of money on a whole new wardrobe. It's about shifting that confidence,
Mhm.
looking at it in a different way.
Mhm. And having somebody like yourself as an expert that can, because we look at ourselves and we don't see what other people see. And so having somebody like yourself as an expert that can pull those things together. She's had that in her wardrobe forever, for however long, but she couldn't see what you could see. So I think anybody that's looking to, and I love that idea of if you've just been through a breakup, or you've been struggling for a long time. And it's not about, I hear this a lot with people talking about self-care as well. Oh, I'll treat myself to a massage, or I'll treat myself to a new hairstyle or a makeover. And it's not about treating yourself, is it? It just has such a deeper impact on how we feel about ourselves. And then that persona, putting out our uniqueness and that persona and feeling elevated and confident. And I love that, the vibrancy that people get. It's vibrant, isn't it? Yeah.
It is. And to your point, Jen, like, we're not always feeling at our best. We're not always feeling our most vibrant. If someone is in between jobs, or someone is delivering their TEDx talk for the first time, or if someone's launching their first book, we feel vulnerable. Those are the first time I had to deliver my Dress for Success talk, I was terrified. I was having panic attacks leading up to it, but I activated. I put on that jacket, I put on that dress, I put on those heels. So it's okay to feel shaky. It's okay to feel unsure about how we're looking or feeling that day. We go through times in life, we go through ups and downs. And to your point, that self-care, it is a way of honoring ourselves. And on a day we're feeling shaky, it can give us the confidence to leave the house, show up at the networking event, show up on that first date. It can help activate that. Again, you do the inner work, Jennifer. Like when you do coaching one-on-one, there's a lot of inner work that has to be done around self-confidence and self-esteem, and seeing one's own value and light. And what better way to showcase that on the outside than with style?
And I have one more question actually that's just popped into my head. So I did a talk. So all this month has been about confidence and courage. And I did a talk around feeling confident in your body. And talking to you now, I can just see where your expertise again comes into helping somebody. Yes, there is a lot of inner work around feeling confident and comfortable in your body, but there is also that outer work of how you look. And I'm sure you help people that are uncomfortable, that not happy with a certain bulge, or they're not happy with their shape. Yeah. So that's something that you do as well.
Oh, absolutely. We can't talk about clothing and styling without talking about our bodies. Clothing is our second skin. Clothing is what we, drape around our bodies to feel confident. And especially we as women, our bodies change.
Our bodies
change, and no one tells us that. tells us how much our body is going to change. We just think, I'm 20, this is my body. And 30, it changes again. 40, it changes again. 50, 60. My favorite is when I meet a woman around 50 and she's like, well, I'm just going to lose that last 5 pounds. Then I'll start working with you. And then 6 months later, she's like, darn this menopause. I don't know what this extra 5 pounds is, but I need pants that fit. Let's work, you know.
So true.
So our bodies do change, and our bodies change, you know, before and after, you know, birthing a child. Our bodies change as we age, menopause. Our bodies can change if we have an injury or an illness. I had a client, she had foot surgery during the pandemic. She said, Tanya, my gosh, I've never gained this much weight in my life, because she was sedentary for 2 years.
Yeah.
So just for each and every one of you listening, watching, just accept yourself. Accept that changes will happen. Be gentle on yourself. Our body, this is the only body we have. And I know it can feel discouraging when we're, you know, not as active or not as energetic, but let me tell you, bodies come in all shapes and sizes. I like to say the 3 or 4 H's that are our happiness, heredity, hormones, like these things all affect our body shape. And it's unfortunate, especially here in America, I think even more so, that there's this pressure of some sort of ideal. Oh my gosh, I just want to, like, half the reason I do what I do is just to wipe this plate clean. Accept where you're at. Our bodies are going to change. And that's the beauty of clothing. We can find clothing that fits and flatters. We can find clothing that graces our curves. We can find clothing that balances our figure from head to toe. When I taught my online group program, Rediscover You with Style, it was about imagining, like, if you saw a vase on a shelf harnessing beautiful flowers, you're not looking at that vase going, that vase is too round or too plump or too bottom heavy or too top heavy. It's just, we women, we hold our riches in different areas of our body. And being curvy, feminine. And
yes.
And there's the opposite. I actually, one of my assistants was very thin, and she felt sometimes she got criticized for being too thin, too fat, too this, too that. It's all about just accepting the changes our body is going to go through, using clothing and style, again, as that self-care to comfort us and to give us that confidence. I had a client that I was styling for her photo shoot. She had gained some weight. She was at a certain body shape that was new for her. And at one point in the fitting room, she just broke down. She had a moment. She was like, I hate my body. And the minute it came out of her mouth, she went, how dare I say that? Why did I just say that? She said, I'm still here. I survived cancer. She said, my mother did not. My aunt did not. I'm still here in this body. Why am I saying why did I just say I hate my body? She said, Tanya, you're healing me. You're healing me and showing me I need to love and accept and honor this body that I have, no matter what shape it's in.
Yeah.
So just a little lesson for you listening and watching is just we need to be more gentle on ourselves and a little more accepting.
Yes, and I think honoring your body is really important, and that's one of the things we talk about in the body image, is all the amazing things your body does for you, because it does. We are, you know, we're walking miracles. We are living miracles. So what you mentioned earlier, not before we went live, you mentioned that you have a program called, and I love this, Sexy in the City. Can you share what that's about? I'd love to know.
Yes. So, you know, I've been doing this for 10 years. I've had my styling business. I style women one-on-one for their photo shoots, their TEDx talks, even just shopping their closets, revamping, showing them what colors to wear. Well, I joined forces with another stylist friend of mine, and we've launched Sexy in the City. So it's the Sexy in the City experience because we as women, sexy is a feeling. And I'm not
Mhm.
talking sexy as in like, out there sexy. It's just that feeling on the inside that we want to stay connected to, that vibrancy, that vitality, that energy, that confidence. So we've created the Sexy in the City experience. We host here in New York City, we host happy hours, shopping tours, style parties, full modern makeover weekends, including photo shoots. So there's like three, it's kind of like choose your own adventure. You want to dip
Right.
your toes in, come to a salon talk. You want to shop with like-minded women, daring to think outside the box like you, come on a shopping tour. You want the full modern makeover? Are you turning 40, 50, 60? Is it, is there something to celebrate? So you can
Can
always
I
just
just say there's always something to celebrate? Just celebrating being a woman. We don't need necessarily an event. So I think, that could be celebrate being a woman.
bravo to that. Just
Yeah,
celebrating
yeah,
yourself as a
yeah,
woman.
yeah,
When do
yeah,
we pause to just dress up and dance or dress
yeah.
up and drink together or dress up and have brunch together? So we're creating these Sexy in the City experiences. We've got our summer series going on right now in New York City. You can always reach out and connect with me through a discovery call through my
Okay.
website, sterlonstyle.com. But it's really about opening up that conversation, seeing where you're at in relationship to yourself, your identity, your level of connection to your own sexiness or not, what's coming up for you, what changes are happening, is your image and style aligning with it? And I do virtual styling services. I do virtual vision board. I can shop online for clientele, or you can come to New York City for a live experience. And Jennifer, we're starting these in New York City and we're going to be taking them around the world.
Oh, fabulous. Fabulous.
Yes,
Are you coming to Italy? Are you coming to Milan?
we might just have to add Milan to the list, my dear. 2024.
Oh, amazing. That's such a fabulous idea. And I love that you do, the idea of going, how many of us go shopping with a partner and they get bored, they're on their phones playing games, or they want to go to the pub for a drink, or they sit outside waiting, and there's a pressure that you need to hurry up. Mostly, I think most partners are like that. I love the idea of going shopping with a bunch of girls, a bunch of women. It sounds so much more fun.
Exactly. You get
Yeah.
that buzz of the oohs and the ahs, and look at you. And to your point, confident and courageous. That's why Sexy in the City is for daring women 40 and up who play outside the box. It's really about daring ourselves a little. Try on that heel, try on that color, try on something you wouldn't have done if you're just shopping out of practicality and you need another pair of black
Mhm.
pants that fit. Or you need that dress for summer that's just going to make you feel beautiful and sassy and sexy again. And what better way than with your best girlfriends or a group of like-minded women over 40,
Yeah.
all going
Yeah.
through the same things and just cheering each other on, right? You can do
Mm,
it. You can
mm,
put that floral
mm.
dress on and work it,
Yeah. Sounds amazing. Sounds wonderful. And I believe you have a gift for our listeners as well.
Yes, if you want to stay connected, we can connect through my website, sterlonstyle.com. And when you sign up for the newsletter, I have relevant styling tips, especially for women 40 and up, but I have a free guide to style. It changes with the seasons. Right now we're in spring summer, so you'll
Mhm.
receive the spring summer guide to style. Fall winter it switches up, but it's really just giving you some ideas of fashion formulas to style your lifestyle. It's summer. A lot of women are going on vacations and getaways. So this is the opportunity to like let it all flow. Get out of that everyday work uniform or work outfit and experiment and dabble a little bit this summer.
Mm,
The
mm,
beach, vacation, dining out, restaurants. To your point, just celebrate yourself as a woman with style. So
mhm.
sterlingstyle.com, sign up for the newsletter and you'll get my my summer style guide tip sheet.
Marvelous. Sounds fabulous, darling. and Tania's links will be in the description. So I really hope that you've enjoyed this episode. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Tania, before we go?
Well, Jennifer, I just love your mission this month and the theme of confidence and courageous. So for each of and every one of you listening or watching, it's dare yourself. Dare yourself to step into a more fully expressed version of you. Dare yourself to wear that something that's a little extra pretty or extra sassy or extra, because it'll bring out your confidence and that energy that you'll harness inside yourself. Dress for yourself first, and then you'll be amazed at what will start opening up for you.
I love that. Dare yourself. Yes. Thank you so much for your time, Tania. It's been wonderful having you here. And if you've enjoyed the episode, please like, share, subscribe. It helps us continue to bring you great content and fabulous guests. Until next time, see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.